Hello, everyone. Today I have the honor of being surrounded by incredible minds behind the movie Old the Fort. I am surrounded by William Bagley, director of Old the Fort, also Chris Mayers and Levi Burdick, who plays Ted and Lucas. So my first question, you did the Murder podcast, actor Felix Postfontaine. For Old the Fort, your monster lineup is absolutely pure chaos. How did you come up with such an unhinged mix of chaos and classic figures?
I think, so werewolves and witches are awesome, so they're in the movie. And then, weirdly enough, the Kung Fu spirits came to me while I was writing the script strictly for budgetary reasons, because I was like, I need a monster that we can do kind of cheaply, that we won't have to do like full prosthetic makeup. And so I was like, I don't want to do zombies. But I was like, but possessed people are pretty cool. Then I'm like, but wait, what if they act like zombies? But then they also know Kung Fu. And so that's where the Kung Fu spirits came from. And I still think it's hilarious. And then the kamikaze bats, actually, in the original version of the script, they were going to be ninjas with pink ray guns that shoot people out. And so somebody told me that was too silly. So I ended up switching it to kamikaze bats. But the reason they blow up pink is because I couldn't get the idea out of my head of the pink explosions as Lucas and McScruffy are running to the portal. And it's stuck, and it looks freaking awesome. Yeah. I'm super happy with it. But yeah, so just kind of cool, full of fun chaos.
Nice. So what about the Stickman? So I believe it. I would like to believe that it's an original character. So what's his background? What's his story? What's he's like?
Ooh, Stickman is ominous, and if you ever meet him, you gonna die.
Yeah,
I was like, except now, I guess, technically, if you watch the movie, spoiler.
The Stickman had a troubled home life. His dad left when...
He used to be a much thicker man. No, I'm kidding. He was the thick man. So basically, my buddy Scott Hawkins, who helped me come up with the idea for the movie, he wanted to play a creature. He's a very tall, skinny guy. He's 6'4". And so he was like, the stick man. And that was pretty much all he said. He was like, that gave me the title. And so then when I was writing it, it just became this super evil, ominous thing. And then we teamed up with Shane Morton to do our practical effects. And so I had like a drawing of what I wanted it to look like. And then Shane was able to take it and just make it 1,000 times creepier, and just 1,000 times cooler. And he's the head of the portal. He's the evil one.
He did a mock-up. She approved, and when he came in with the sculpture, it blew everybody away.
Yeah,
that mask was incredible.
And it was creepy on set too. And he was very oozy. And the whole time I was like, just put more ooze, make him slimier, more ooze, more ooze.
Oliver never left character, which is weird.
Yeah, I will say the guy who ended up playing the Stickman, his name is Oliver. I got to talk to him the morning that he got there. Talked to him for about 3 minutes, and then he stayed in like for the rest of the time.
And how have you guys prepared for the roles? Because it's very specific. It's this suburban community with HOAs and all that stuff. So how did you prepare to put yourself in a mindset of one character being so shy and being so scared of everything, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do this?
I think that one of the things that when we first talked about this film, when William first reached out to me to say, hey, I'm writing this thing, do you want to be in it? As he was describing the character, he was like, so Lucas is a coward, so but we'll follow along with him his journey of learning what it is to not only overcome your fears, but actually like chase them, right? Because the end of this film, it's not that Lucas is no longer afraid and finally he's like fearless, right? Like, no, he's still terrified, but he is then choosing to do the right thing. And it was fun working through the process of this guy who, maybe never had to face something that he couldn't run from before. This guy who didn't have a particularly strong male authority figure in his life growing up. Which was a really fun process of discussing with William and with Levi, what does it mean to Lucas to finally find a father figure like Ted, played by Levi, and to really embrace his own masculinity in his own way, because we talked a lot about this idea of, this toxic masculinity, right? Yeah. And what is that versus what is masculinity? It's like ultimately, it's a guy who does not back away when shit hits the fan, and it's a guy who really honors other people. And Lucas does not do that at the beginning of this film, and hopefully by the end he has learned what it really means to do that. And it was a really fun experience exploring that arc with Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the backdrop of an HOA where people have a lot of animosity to it, Ted is the ultimate Gen X dad, grandpa, coach, a toxic masculine figure, just kind of oozing testosterone, who has like a lot of generational gaps. He kind of looks down or looks with a little bit of disdain on the upcoming generations, the millennials and the Gen Zs, and he kind of condescends them already. And when Lucas comes in, apparently living up to all of those negative stereotypes that Ted has generated in his mind, he gets to watch Lucas kind of prove him wrong a little bit too about the capacity that people have and look at people differently. And we really had a great time kind of going through our characters and where they stand and what they represent. And I loved working with Chris on this and being the father figure for him.
Oh yeah.
It's funny how much William has written characters who had bad dads, because William's actual father is fantastic. He's a lovely human being, and he came to this festival. He's incredible. But Tommy Bags, yeah, it's great.
That's actually my nephew. Yeah. All right, my dad's Tommy.
Your nephew's your dad?
There's a line that really made me laugh. So when they all met at the first time at like the Equinox party, there's this person, I don't remember who it was, but he says, "Ooh, fresh meat." Oh, that was you. Yeah. And you say something, and then the actress just goes, "Why the fuck would you say it like that?"
Yeah.
It just made me laugh so much. So,
that's Julian. Yeah.
what was the process of making all of the lines so punchy and funny?
I mean, honestly, when I was writing the script, I just write stuff that I think is funny, and I sit there and I improv by myself in my bedroom on a keyboard. But no, I mean, yeah, really, Julian's delivery of that was perfect, and I was like, I want you to really lean into this is the most sinister thing that you could say right now, and then hard cut to Haley just being like, how the fuck would you say like that? So most of the comedy just comes from, it's things that I think are funny, and then you get really talented people to come in and say them better than I wrote them, and then you get good jokes, and then you have to fingers crossed that they work, because you never really know. Comedy is so subjective, and
if you're making a movie or you want to watch a good movie, keep this in mind. You always have to start with good writing, and William just nails that.
Thank you.
And the gore and the practical, I mean, it's a very bloody movie. So what was the most difficult part of the kills or the practical effects? How did you have any situation where you were like, oh, this is not working out, we should do it again and again? And
honestly, the hardest one was, and this was originally supposed to be the opening shot of the movie. After we finished production, I ended up deciding that I wanted to shoot a whole new cold open for the movie. But it was originally supposed to open when the first guy's head explodes during the witch thing. The head's supposed to split in half, and then I wanted to do a snap zoom through the head to Lucas's face as he gets splattered in blood and screams. So we were like, okay, cool. We got this practical head. It's going to rip in half. We'll spray blood up in the air. We'll spray Chris with blood. Alex, you have to do the snap zoom. Jason, don't mess up the focus. And we can do it once, because once the head is split in half, it won't really work. So everyone's prepped. We're all ready to go. We get ready. We do it. Boom. Complete miss of the camera. Like it goes, and like I don't think the blood.
It was like everything went wrong.
I don't even think
it was not one thing. Every single piece went wrong.
The blood, I don't even think hit you. Like it was just fully where we were like, oh, okay. But then thankfully we were able to do it again. We just kind of wiped the blood off and we did it a little faster and it worked out. The second
take worked great. Yeah. And it was like an incredible practical effect that Shane put that together, right? Shane Morton, of this. It's terrifying in real life to look at. You see this body just like they're on either side of it pulling it apart as it rips, and it's stringy insides, and it's just like disgusting. But it was a really cool thing. I mean, I didn't have to do much acting. I just saw an actual body get ripped in half. So.
It was really funny though when we failed that first time, like the energy on set, because everyone was so pumped, and then it was like as hard as you can miss, we missed, and everyone was just like, oh, yeah, all right, I guess let's just try again. It'll be a little different, but it'll be fine. And you know what? It worked out great.
And I mean, cheese sticks with muscle relaxer. How did you come up with that?
There was this party once that his wife threw, and
Yeah. Have you never tried cheese sticks?
you got to meet Rebecca first.
She throws down.
Honestly, I don't know. I just thought that sounded funny.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I don't want to speak on behalf of you for your writing process, but the idea of like, because I knew that like you wanted Julian's character to be immobilized, right? And then kind of working backwards from there. And then it was really funny to see like this character who just is so casually eating these muscle relaxer filled cheese sticks. I thought it was a genius idea because like it not only is like a funny bit, but it served the story so well.
And Torty really added some slapstick to that.
Oh man, Torty was great. And then I did tell Julian when I cast him, I was like, hey, you do know you're going to be laying down for like a third of this movie. And he was like, let's go. So I mean, I wanted to do an immobilized character. And I'm always trying to make stuff harder for the characters. And so we've already shot the main dude who's supposed to save everyone. Now the guy who knows everything can't move. And then just thinking of a funny way to get him there.
So if you guys moved into a suburban community with an HOA like this, would you fight or flee?
Well, you know, Ted is in for the fight, always. I'm there to fight.
If McScruffy's there, hell yeah, because mortgage is too expensive, property tax is too expensive, I'd be there. If McScruffy's not there, maybe not.
I mean, are they getting a pool or because if there's a pool, if they're getting a pool, I'll fight, man.
The movie satire kind of reminds me a little bit of Hot Fuzz meets Evil Dead. So were there any specific movies that inspired you to do this movie or any kind of horror references?
Hot Fuzz is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. When Chris was asking me about like, you know, some of the pacing of the dialogue and stuff, I was like, watch Hot Fuzz. I was like, I like fast, quick dialogue, which is typically British stuff. So it's kind of fun for us to do that as Americans.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, for me, it was always supposed to kind of be like a Stephen King paperback book, but a TV movie mixed with like Scott Pilgrim, the craziness and wackiness of Scott Pilgrim. And I feel like we got pretty close to that.
Yeah, not to get too nerdy about graphic design, but one thing I love is that the poster uses a font called ITC
Heck yeah.
which is the classic font for a lot of those 80s like Stephen King novels. Like if you ever look at those books, they all basically use that same font. And I love that that's used for this poster because just looking at the poster alone and then at the credits, it really inspires you to be like, oh, like you feel that, right? That's sort of old school 80s campy like horror vibe, like right from the get-go, which I love.
Yeah. Which I will say too, that's the poster that's currently on IMDb is not our official poster, but if you go and look at it, it's literally based off of a paperback novel because it's got the price at the top. That's like you can go if you look real close, there's the price in USD at the very top.
What was your favorite moments on set as for the actors and director?
For me, I enjoyed getting to get involved in the stunt process a little bit, and fighting the werewolf is always epic. But really, what I call our dance scene, where Lucas and Ted realize they're going to have to come together and work together to defeat some of these monsters, and they kind of pick up a little bit of a routine and they get into it, and it's just really fulfilling.
Yeah. I love when Julian gets tossed and goes through the table. That was one shot that I had to fight really hard on because that's actually really hard to do in one shot. And a lot of people were like
80 pounds.
Yeah, they're 100 pound. They were just like, just cut to the table. And I'm like, it has to be one shot. It's much funnier if it's one shot. So
nobody could throw it far enough.
Yeah, and we can throw it far enough. It was too heavy because this is like 20 feet across the clubhouse. And what we ended up doing is the stunt guys climbed up to the rafters and dropped it. And when that thing went through the table, and it was pure silence for about 30 seconds, and then I was like,
we all
fuck
broke
yeah! And everyone lost it, and it was great. That was a very satisfying moment.
I really enjoyed, there's a scene at the end of the film where I'm running across an open field as these like bats are exploding around us, and I'm supposed to have somebody on my shoulders, and we're supposed to be running, which like obviously physically would be nearly impossible to actually do. But it was really cool that they had this like rig with this like mannequin legs basically around my shoulders. And there was something so fun about the choreography of that. It was like a super late, very cold night that we shot this on. But I actually had a blast shooting that. Sometimes sitting in a golf cart to really sell the. There was this really cool moment William was sharing about. We wanted it to look like this guy was on top of my shoulders, and our producer Tim Rice came up with this cool idea where I'm sitting in the golf cart and they're filming me, and then they pan up to Hamid, who's sitting on my shoulders. But he's just sitting in the
guy.
Who's a really big guy.
Like
he's just sitting on the back of the golf cart, but it sells it so well when you see this first person view from the camera. But that was really fun, just figuring out the logistics for that one and all the choreography of it.
Heck yeah. That shot makes me laugh every time.
Yeah.
He meant to say the bathroom scene.
Yes.
And so, how have you guys heard about the project of the movie? Because I know that you've known each other for a while. Did he come up to you, or how did it?
I wrote the script with these guys in mind because they're fantastic. And I'd worked with Chris in a very small role in the Murder Podcast. He came in, did one day where he's a news reporter, and it was so much fun, and you could just tell, you're like, damn, this guy's got talent. So when I was writing this script, I was like thinking of Chris, because I was like, Chris can totally pull this off. He can make Lucas, who is kind of an a-hole, a nice guy. Like we can like him because of Chris. And then Levi had a pretty big role in the Murder Podcast as Officer Stashburn. So with this one, it was instantly like the second it was Ted, and I had the like kind of description of what he was going to be. Levi. That's like I'm like imagining Levi saying the lines. I'd also written another script with Levi in mind. So, dude, amazing. I love these guys.
Yeah.
So far, how was the audience reaction? How did you react to what you've seen? Because, I mean, there's a lot of film festivals out there, but I believe that there are no crowds at the level of Fantasia. So, what do you think of the audience?
Man, it's crazy. No, we like last night was just insane. Seeing a line out the door was ridiculous. Hearing the cheers and the laughter through a lot of the scenes. For certain scenes that I didn't think were going to get as big a cheers, did. Yeah. Certain laughs hit super hard and brought the house down. It was great. It was just you work on something for so long, and there's nothing like seeing a bunch of people enjoy it. I mean, that's why we do this.
And in the words of Ted, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really lovely because when you work on it, you see rough cuts, or like obviously you've watched this movie 7,000 times, but and then you have like a cast and crew screening. These are all people you know. The first time you put it in front of an audience who has no idea who you are, right? And they have no vested interest in it. It's a whole new experience. And to see the ways that people found something funny, they're like, oh, cool. I didn't think that was going to hit. Or there was one moment in the screening where something goes wrong and someone out loud goes, oh no. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Fantasia is an incredible film festival. Absolutely. And the audiences have been great.
Seeing the level of investment that the crowd gets into the movie and into the characters and the story. This is all about storytelling. And, I say it again, when you start with great writing, you're able to really have a foundation to build something. And watching the crowd react and get into it and get invested in those characters and that story, it was very rewarding for us as actors.
So, for my final question, what's next? What's next? Because obviously after the screening, people went wild. A lot of people are going to go wild at home as well. What's next?
Man, I've got some super awesome ideas. I've got one in development that I'm very, very excited about. I can't tell you all the beats yet, but I will tell you, if you like Hold the Fort, this one's going to be Hold the Fort times like 10,000. We're going to go crazy. It's going to be nuts. Honestly, I learned so much on that movie, and it just it like lit a fire inside me of stuff that I want to do even more and bigger and crazier. So I'll just say movie 3, it's going to be fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
True.
I want to say this. For all the plans that he has, I got a feeling that once people start seeing the magic that William made with Hold the Fort, there's going to be a lot of offers on the table. So right now, Chris and I are really, really honored and thrilled that we've had a chance to work with the William Bagley.
Thank you guys so much for your time. I had a blast doing this interview. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Great meeting you, man.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, the team behind Hold the Fort.